Your Excellency and dear brother Edgar Chagwa Lungu, President of the Republic of Zambia, esteemed Kaunda family, Your Excellencies, brotherly Zambian people, the peoples of SADC member state are in mourning. The voice of the father of the Zambian nation, the one that sprang up in Lubwa, near Chinsali, in 1924, His Excellency Dr. Kenneth David Kaunda has been silent, suddenly and forever. In difficult situations such as these, extraordinary strength and clarity are required to overcome emotions. In the face of death, words become empty, dry, and sterile. In fact, death is the only certainty that floats us in the midst of all our uncertainty awaiting us as a destiny. Comrade Kaunda was indeed a statesman who always stood up against racial oppression and injustice. He was a passionate promoter of Zambian humanism based on the African system of values and ethics. He worked to build a country where resources would serve the people. Internationally, Kaunda used diplomacy to help legitimize and garner support for the liberation movement. Kenneth Kaunda was the ambassador of the oppressed at international forums. How to accept that SADC has lost its founder? The collective presence of SADC's leaders at this solemn farewell is an expression of the priceless respect and gratitude for the immense contribution of the forever President, Dr. Kenneth David Kaunda, to the cause of the liberation struggles of our Southern African region. Comrade Kaunda has offered his country as a safe haven for many Mozambicans, Namibians, Angolans, Zimbabweans, South Africans, and others who left their countries because of oppression and racial injustice. Zambia paid a big bill. Zambia became the target of sabotage and military incursions by racist and minority regimes, resulting in the loss of human life and massive economic damage over a long period. In Zambia, Kaunda has always worked to build a united nation without discrimination based on race, tribe, gender, or religious belief, under his famous motto, One Zambia, One Nation. No one is surprised that Zambia is a cohesive country of recognized political stability. This is the work of Kaunda. The way in which Kaunda led the struggle for the independence of Zambia in 1964 was a strong inspiration in the peaceful struggle for the independence of some sister countries such as Malawi, Botswana, Lesotho, Mauritius. On profound humanism, the name Lusaka is engraved in the collective memory of Mozambique. It was here in Lusaka, in the early afternoon of the 7th September 1974, in a room at the State House, where the agreement for independence and the ceasefire agreement were signed between our liberation movement, Frelimo, and the Portuguese colonial government that paved the way for the proclamation of the independence of Mozambique on the 25th June 1975. How to forget a child of Africa who devoted his whole life for the liberation of the continent? How to accept the demise of someone who has gone through hard time to see the region free from exploration, enjoying peace and democratic rights? Ladies and gentlemen, I have a recent memory when in 2014 I visited President Kaunda in his private home to ask for his blessing. He took me to the sacred place where our dear mother, Mama Betty Kaunda, rests. Back home, he placed his traditional white handkerchief over my head and said, "God bless the new generation of African leaders." This vision was evident in his last voice message recorded and addressed to the heads of state and government of SADC member states who met after his demise at the External Summit in Maputo on 23rd June. His message calls for the union and maintenance of the spirit that was behind the inception of SADC. Kaunda was a man with a multifaceted character. His passion of music left us the famous song Tiende Pamozi Ndimtima Umo, which continues to be sung in many countries in the region and around the world. His love for football resulted in the national team bearing the name KK11. From Kaunda, we learned that when elections are lost, the loser recognizes the loss and congratulates the winner. We also learned that with the end of the presidential term, the work does not end. It left us with a good example of philanthropic work in combating HIV and AIDS and other humanitarian crises after the left power. Nobody can erase this and the more deeds of this great son of Zambia and of Africa. Your Excellencies, dear brothers and sisters, let me, on behalf of the peoples and governments of the SADC member states, the Mozambican people I lead, and indeed on my own behalf, convey our most heartfelt condolences to the bereaved Kaunda family as well as to the brotherly Zambian people and to you, my dear brother, President Lungu. Please let me speak to President Kaunda. Mzee Kaunda, men of your stripes shall never die, for there is no tomb they can fit into. The deep-rooted tree you have planted, we will remain with us, and we will continue to water and care. May Comrade Kaunda, may Comrade Kenneth Kaunda's souls be at eternal peace with our heavenly Father. Aluta continua. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. We continue with speeches. It is again my rare privilege and honor to invite to the podium His Excellency Dr. Hage Geingob, President of the Republic of Namibia. Your Excellency.
Thank you, Director of this occasion, bereaved Kaunda family, and the bereaved nation of Zambia. Your Excellency, Edgar Lungu, President of the Republic of Zambia. Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, fellow mourners, ladies and gentlemen. It is said, say not in grief, he is no more, but live in thankfulness that he was. I'm honored to be here in Lusaka, our home away from home, a citadel on the front line of the Southern African struggle for independence, to say, not in grief, that the colossal and indomitable son of Africa, Kenneth David Kaunda, is no more, but to express our thankfulness that he was. Comrade Kenneth Kaunda was a giant on our continent, an extraordinary personality who was one of the frontline fathers of African independence. As an icon of our liberation struggle, this luminary has left an indelible footprint on this continent, a perpetual reminder of his profound impact, which continues to reverberate from Cape to Cairo and beyond the shores of Africa. He was a statesman par excellence, who combined revolutionary but moderate, thus enlightened political views of a vision of humanism. His influence stretched beyond the borders of this continent. I had a long speech prepared, but I think since I have a special story to tell, that I will deviate from that and talk from my heart. Firstly, I was going to be accompanied by my two former the President Kaunda, President Nyusi, and President Wahamba. Gave them the plane that they can also come to be here. But last minute, they were told, because age is catching up, so they were asked by doctors to remain at home. I was also going to be accompanied by students that were educated here at the institute that I was heading. I was going to bring the Chief Justice of Namibia, Deputy Chief Justice of Namibia, Minister of Home Affairs, some magistrates, but when we were told they may only end up at the airport, last minute they had to remain. So I'm here to come and say to you, Comrade Lungu, President of Zambia, and to Kaunda family, to Zambians, that we Namibians, through me, are saying thank you. Sikomo Gwambili. Thank you for giving us second home, the home from where we are operating as if we're in our own homes. I, in particular, was a young fellow when I was sent from UN when I was only 34 years old. Now I'm going to be 80 years old. Sent to set up an institution under UN auspices to train Namibians for future responsibilities. I was young, a freedom fighter, but President Kaunda welcomed him. He welcomed me, helped me to set up that institute. Throughout our stay here, his doors were open to me. His advice was always available when I was sometimes getting frustrated. We trained thousands of Namibians here, from here. And they went back. I was a leader, director of elections, and President Kaunda called me to come to State House before I left. And he told me, go well. But when you are going to be there, try to reconcile Namibian people. Your message should be that of peace and that of uniting Namibian people. I then, for the first time, was escorted in my life, first time, escorted by outriders, sitting on the back of the car and taken to the airport. The airport, Zambia Airways plane was there. And I then said, am I going back to a country I didn't see for 27 years, grew up outside, kind of. And I remember those words, that our country was divided, races, whites were oppressing us, and President Kaunda is telling me to go back there and reconcile. Okay, I came there, of course, received, rest is history. We campaigned, we won. But as I was now coming, Namibians whom I left behind, and I came with the Deputy Prime Minister, who was our last representative here for independence, to say, since we cannot go and bury President Kaunda, you are going there on our behalf, please go and say thank you to Zambian people. Thank you, Sikomo Kwambili. We have been here, tough times, Zambia suffered. As my colleagues already said, those who represented the former liberation movements. You suffered because of us. Sanctions were applied against Rhodesia, but Zambia carried the burden of the sanctions, suffered more than Zimbabwe, because Zimbabwe, Rhodesia, there was a thing where they were busting Zambia, sanctions. So Zambia suffered. As for all of us who are freedom fighters, as we heard from those who spoke before me, are all saying, thank you, President Kaunda, thank you, Zambia, Sikomo Kwambili. To Comrade Kaunda's dear children, grandchildren, and family, to the fraternal people of Zambia, we the people of Namibia offer sincerest condolences to you on the loss of this great Pan-Africanist and a beloved son of Africa. In sadness and tears, we offer our sympathies and share with you this huge national loss. President Kaunda, although we'll miss your physical presence, your counsel and advice will continue to guide us to, as you said in your own words, and quote unquote, continuously advance and inculcate the ideals of Pan-Africanism in all Africans, both on the continent and around the world, young and old, to keep Pan-African dream alive for all Africans. Let me also, before I close, reveal to Namibians that I had to steal from Zambia certain concepts. Some Namibians think it was mine, They think it's mine. But one Namibia, one nation, I brought there. It is there. One Zambia, one nation. I took it from here. And Namibians still, it's I who brought it, it's ours. I stole it from here. During independence, we had Lungu, not you, Your Excellency, Chief of Protocol, whom he stole from here. I took him from here to go to Namibia to be kind of a chief of protocol, to prepare for our independence. We took all President Kaunda's VIP cars, all of them, drove to Namibia. And the first convoys we had there for independence, for President Nyusi to come with, were your cars. So, Sikomogwambili. Go well, son of Africa. We will not only celebrate your legacy, but we vow to live it, to be inspired by the blessings of your life's work, to build upon the foundations of solidarity, freedom, and peace which you fought for. May the Almighty God grant the soul of Comrade Kenneth Kaunda eternal rest and peace. I thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. We are almost coming to the end of speeches, but one. Allow me to call to the podium